Arana from Dahlhouse Designs. Today I'm doing a card using the Unity Stamp Company January SMAK kit. These are scrapbooking, mixed media, altered art kits, but they also work really well for cards, which is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be using these numbers, this banner. I think that's all I'm using from this kit today. But that's where it's coming from, this month's SMAK kit, which are super fun. The stamps are big. They're not your standard card size. They're much larger. I'm not sure where the other ones are, but these are the ones I'm using today. And then I wanted to show you where I got my inspiration from. I was drinking my coffee from Starbucks in my tumbler, and I really liked this design of the numbers that go along on my tumbler here, and I like the colors and I like the pop of green, so that's what I'm going to mimic today. So that's where I got my inspiration from, which means you can get inspiration from almost anywhere. Standard size card, I cut a sheet of 8.5 by 11 in half, scored it, and then we're down to 4 1/4 by 5.5. So we're going to start out with that, and we're going to start building up the base with the numbers, and I have all my ink here that I want to use. I'm going to put the grays on one side and browns on another, and we're just going to start stamping in randomness. I'm just going to kind of go between colors and numbers and just fill up the page here. Okay, so we have all of our background stamping, and like I said, it's just random, and I don't have any rhyme or reason. That's the whole point of it. So next I'm going to use the banner stamp or ribbon that's going to probably go right about here. I'm going to go ahead and get that stamping started, and I'm going to do the base in the gray. In a light gray. Do that down at the bottom. And that turned out good. And now I want a pop of green. So I'm going to grab my green ink out of this Color Box Q. I think it's called Moss Green. And I'm going to grab a little block here. Actually, looks like I'm going to need a big one. And this sentiment is from an older kit of the month. It's called Take Time to Laugh. It's October 2010's Unity Kit of the Month. It's one of my favorites. I keep that one out at all times. So I'm just gonna place that right about here on that banner, ribbon banner that I just stamped. I'm just gonna overlay it. I have a feeling I'm going to stamp this more than once, so I'm going to lay that down here, and then I'm going to grab my Stamp-A-Majig and place that on there so I know if I want to stamp it again, I can stamp it in the exact same spot, which I think I do. This gives you a nice, solid, vibrant image without having to worry about lining up again. This is one of my favorite tools. There we go. So that really made it pop. Now I'm going to cut this out in a minute. So I'm just going to trim off the extra cardstock here and let that dry really well. Sometimes that color box chalk ink, or the color box pigment ink, takes a little while to dry, so I don't want to touch that for a little bit. Clean that stamp off, and then next I'm going to take the sentiment from the other half of the sentiment from the stamp. I cut it off. I tend to use it by itself, and this part says take time to, and I'm going to stamp that on the little bit of extra cardstock I have here in Chestnut Roan, also by Colorbox. Okay, and now I have a punch from EK Success called Journal Plate and Bracket. So now that I've stamped this, I'm going to place it in the punch, hold my punch upside down, and then place it where I want in the window here. Just make sure I have that lined up straight, just like that. And we're going to set that aside for just a moment. And I'm going to just trim this out with my scissors real quick here. So next, this is going to go on top of that. So I need to put a little bit of glue here. And then I'll just lay this on top. Set that aside to let it dry a little bit. Okay, next I have a scrap piece of paper from this pad of 6x6 paper by My Mind's Eye. It's called Ooh La La for Her, which is really fun and girly. But I like the green that's in here. So I'm going to use some punches by Martha Stewart. These are Stamp Anywhere punches. And I'm just going to lay that over the top here. And I think I'll just need one of this one. And I'm using the Starry Sky. And then I'm also using the star. I think I only want one of those too, but I'm going to keep it handy in case I need more. And then we'll go ahead and start building up the card here. So first, let's go ahead and pop this up on the card base. I'm using some Pop Dots that I got at Hobby Lobby. They're the Paper Studio line. They're usually fairly inexpensive. And we'll go ahead and pop that up down here. And the next thing I want is this big star. We're going to go ahead and put it right down here. And I think I'm going to pop, I don't want to pop that up. Okay. A lot of times I'll cut out the extra little pieces here so it's not wasted, and then also it works out to for odd shaped items. So we're gonna pop this star up using this, and we'll place it, say, like right there. That's perfect. Maybe not. Maybe like right there. Okay, so next I have all these little ones that I'm just going to randomly place on here. So I'm going to take my liquid glue, put a dot down. This glue exploded on me not too long ago, so I'm a little scared of it. I had it everywhere in my hair, down my back. It was not fun. So there's one. There's two. There's three. Now when working and designing, it's generally best to have odd numbers. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, so I'm going to make it 5 and put one more down here. That way your eye travels through all the green, and that way we have odd numbers as well. It just looks more pleasing to the eye with an odd number. So that pretty much ends that. I'm going to round this while I'm thinking about it. I always like to round a corner or two. And I like that one. Mainly because there's a lot of activity going on this side of the card. So there's a bit more white space up here. So to soften that, I'll round this corner. And then last, this little star needs a friend. So I'm going to make a tiny bow using this baker's twine by the Twinery. This is their original brown color. I can't remember the name of it. I think it might be cappuccino, but it's a little bit darker. Now they have one that's a little bit more craft colored. And I'm just going to put that right in the center. I'm going to leave his tails kind of long too. Kind of like that. Okay, so that does it for today's Assemble This card. I hope you enjoyed watching me create the fun background patterns with the numbers using the January SMAK kit. It's called Without You, What Would I Do? And then also a Unity Stamp kit for the sentiment. And it's just a fun kind of masculine birthday card, I would say. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.